Good evening. Hello, dearest friends. Well, I welcome you right here in the channel again. We started a week ago the telepathy program, and I'm happy, very happy, that so many people so far have watched the video, which I absolutely didn't expect because we are right about getting started. I do not know where this whole thing will come to and develop to, but well, never fly too low. Therefore, what's going on with the telepathy thing? It started back in 1994 with me when I had my initiation through the heavens on my spiritual path, which revealed me the way and the person I am I'm becoming to be. The result of this is not known yet, but I'll keep on working on this. It started in 1994 when I suddenly got my initiation like the little fool. I called that because I've written it up. If you want to, you can scroll down below on the Probata minus stream page, and there's a video. It's called The Little Fool. That's the English version. Above of it is Der kleine Narr, which is the German version, also subtitled in 240 different languages. And yes, we now switch a bit the camera. Okay, this is a sudden different place we're in. And this might be the space station I've been to before, the Akasha Chronicle, which is one of two space stations radiating around in not so far orbit right around planet Earth. But I'm not here for this now because it's just a bit. I'm sorry. I really must learn to speak slower. It's because I just receiving all these ideas and thoughts. What I'm telling you, I've got no plan on what I speak about. So I just it's I've got access to the Akasha Chronicle. That's the consciousness and the memory storage of the universe. This is a thing which is written down and described in ancient Sanskrit texts, and to make it short, I got contact with this database, which brings me to meditation and the study of the scriptures as being an essential thing when you want to reach some other spheres of harmony which dwell directly from the universal zone of love. I studied ancient scriptures, and I studied also some I'm sorry, different camera. I studied also some nowadays 2 days scriptures. Back in 1993, I got contact to a British biologist, a professor from Cambridge, Rupert Sheldrake. I don't know if you've heard of him before. He's the founder of the hypothesis. Right, I want a different word. He's the one who came up with the idea of the morphic resonance. Let me give you a short description of what this morphic resonance is. What Sheldrake did, he analyzed and studied some scenes by the Japanese scientists, and you must know for this, Japan consists of many islands, aside from the large ones, and on many of the small ones, macaques these are monkeys, do live, just like on the mainland. The monkeys always ate their potatoes. They dug them up and ate them. One monkey came one day with the idea, perhaps rather by chance, to wash its potato in the river. All the dirt came off. It tasted much better. The other monkeys watched him and also started to wash their potatoes. Well, when the so-called 100th monkey was reached, who washed his potato, a subconscious signal was generated for the species, which was passed on telepathically. The monkeys on the island had no contact with other islands and the monkeys there. Nevertheless, all monkeys there started washing their potatoes. What Sheldrake did, he based his theory of morphic resonance, describing the morphogenetic fields on this. He explained that beneficial behavior is passed on telepathically to the collective. Yet other examples as well. Because after World War II, this was also studied by scientists, there were milk deliveries to the door again in Holland. The bottles were sealed with a cap. A bird species, which I don't remember which one it was, but they were not migratory birds, discovered that they could pack the cap open to get the milk. Within a very short time, these non-migratory birds, without any contact with their more distant conspecifics, hacked open the caps everywhere in Holland, Belgium, and so on, wherever such bottles existed. And Sheldrake saw this, and as I said, he called this morphic resonance. So, the thing is, what I'm doing here, and what I'm doing together with many different people, is that we are all working, definitely, as being lightworkers. And as lightworkers, it is absolutely necessary that the 100th monkey will be reached as well, because if this happens, the collective will adopt the behavior and the information which is given by these lightworkers. This will have a certain impact which is not, or which may not, can be measured by normal scales of happenings, because it will have the impact of putting in essence a certain idea right into the collective subconscious. Okay, that's so far a bit of the stuff I wanted to say to the meditation and the study of the scriptures and the morphic resonance. I guess when we have all seen this, what I plan to do is to make it a little bit like a sofa chat, which means I would be happy if you would interact with me through the chat, which is presented right into this streaming. So we will have the chance, if you want so, right after the streaming, on a certain special page where the chat still is running, to communicate with written letters, if you want so. We'll try to. I keep on trying to do that, and I'm hoping, definitely hoping, that you one day will come and chat with me. I see someone wrote, I'm sorry I cannot read that right now. I will read it on the last page, I promise it, and in case it's a question or something like this, I will answer and react. So, what can we do? I think we go to a very cozy part of the streaming. We go back to Mom's Garden, because Mom's Garden is definitely a place to be in, where you feel good, where well, and where you become happy. When you're there, sit down, take a seat with me, have a seat. We'll see what's in the fridge and whatever we can present you. We will do if we can do so. So, what can I say to all this happening? I know, as being a regular person, as being a regular guy like any other guy who lives right in this reality we're in, as being such a person, I know it sounds for regular people somehow strange what's happening with when you talk about telepathy and stuff like that. Some find it ridiculous, some find it, well, just dumb or whatever, I don't know. What I did, I always questioned the things around me, and I always tried to examine it for myself and do my own researches, which took me on the path to discover the extraterrestrial dudes on planet Earth, not only by learning books and reading and stuff like that, but also through own experiences. And I came to these experiences, these life experiences with extraterrestrials. I came there. Oh, sorry, the camera doesn't work. The camera, but where's the camera? I'm sorry, you cannot see me all the time. Here is the camera. Let me check. It must be in. Now it must be in. Okay, here we are. I'm sorry, I apologize. But at least I hope you have heard my voice. So when you get in contact with extraterrestrials, I know how this sounds, and I know how it sounds when you tell people you're doing telepathy, but it is definitely a sort of thing which is often being put by scientists into medical diagnosis, like paranoid schizophrenia or something like that, which definitely isn't, because the whole phenomenon is not very well understood. It's following some medical doctors' researches, which are based on a rather materialistic side of the human kind, as being aware of psychosoma medicine. We do know what the ancient Greek already knew, because they differed. I don't know. They had two parts of the human being. They had the psyche, and they had the soma, the body. And this was the foundation for the psychosomatic medicine. Professor Tore van Uxel of University of Gießen, later Ulm, and elsewhere in Freiburg, who was the founder of the psychosomatic medicine and has been the professor, as being the professor of my young father when he worked there, as being a doctor in his team, later becoming a professor himself. Okay, nevertheless, you can think of all this happening like being nonsense. You can think of all those telepathic abilities and all the other, spheric or paranormal happenings going on in different people's minds. You can call that illness, you can call that a diagnosis, you can do all this, but you cannot deny that more and more people and each day wake up, and that we're getting more every single day. And these people are not crazy. They live sort out of their regular lives in a certain way, because they suddenly got access to some frequency which is coming onto our mother planet from the fifth dimension. This is an energy. This frequency doesn't mean we're starting to fly probably right now. No, that's not. It's a shift of, from fear to love, from wrath to forgiveness, stuff like that, just a decision you can make up for yourself in your mind, which way you want to go to and which is the path you want to walk on in your future time. Every and each single moment you're alive, you can steer wherever you want and intend to go to. It's alone your decision. And this decision you make up in your mind is probably steered by the frequency your heart is pulsing in. Because, as I said in the last show, the highest frequency and the highest energy in the universe is love. Therefore, always try to focus on love, or do it like I do it. Start it with a prayer, because when you pray, you focus your mind. You put the essence of what you want to say in some simple words. You try to be honest with yourself when you pray, because someone is listening who knows all anyway, and therefore it's not good to lie to yourself, which is a psychological phenomenon which most of us living in this neurotic world definitely do. We lie to ourselves, often without recognizing that we do so, because we just follow and keep on the track we've been going for the past decades in our lives. And if we continue to do so, nothing will change. As Albert Einstein said, how can you expect things to change when you do not change them? And that's a way, because everything is happening in a way of karma, which means a dosis cause, the law of cause and effect. A dosis causes a dosis effect, and if you control what you put into, you control what you get out of, and therefore always put love in your life, put love on top on everything. What do you expect to do in your future being like? I don't know if I shall continue talking. We got 20 minutes almost, so I just go on and I look if I find a channel which I find good information to can continue talking with you. If my mind is stuffed up, I don't know. I will just wait a second. It's always usually happening after some 30 seconds. I get a new channel with some different topic. What I promise you is we definitely will keep on going, learning real practical stuff for doing telepathy. What helped me when I started with that is I always tried to be comfortable with my body. I didn't sit in the lotus seat or whatever, because man, my bones hurt. Come on. Therefore, I always tried to feel comfortable, and what I did, I used to lay down on the bed or sofa and relaxed, calmed down, listen to some soft, gentle spiritual music, and just try to get in this, this certain stage of mind when you're dazing away. And this is because the frequency of which our brain is focused upon to send and receive information changes when you calm down. you can do that, initiating it by calming down your breathing. Do it slow, do it real slow, deep, do it relaxed. This will calm your mind when your mind is calm. Continue. Just lay down there, try to nap a bit, get a bit into this napping situation, and then try, while you do that, to focus on just recognizing what your thoughts, what your ideas are creating. If you learn that, if you do that, like 10 minutes a day, you will, after a certain while, get the first results in the thing that you, out of a sudden, listen to your own ideas, your own thoughts that you are hearing within your mind while you're there about to take a nap. And because you're relaxed, when you're relaxed, this happens best. And just try to see what you're thinking, and then understand that all of these ideas that dwell in your mind are your own personal ideas, but very many of them are being received online through morphogenetic fields from the collective subconscious, and is spread into the whole thing you are. Don't be afraid, have no fear. What I can tell you is, definitely, as I did in the video in 2020 when I did that, you are never alone. But what I can promise you is that there are good forces right into this world in dimensional spheres you currently seem to have no access to. Some of you do, definitely, and they share these experiences in their own personal way with me the same. We all make this experience. And in case you haven't found to your own metaphysical appearance, in case you're not certain about that you are a spiritual person, being in life, you know, that you're not a body, that you are a soul. In case you do not recognize this, you have to do some groundwork, as I suppose, which means try to get some philosophical literature and focus on the idea like it is in Sophie's Welt, Sophie's World, Yosangara. Try to do it this way. Where do you come from? Is there more than you? And ask yourself some philosophical questions which will guide you through the day. Get yourself a calendar in which you find wonderful words. I've got a calendar, I must show this because it's not allowed in Tibet anymore to show a photo of this person. I've got a calendar of the Dalai Lama. Well, it's from a different year, can you see that? But get yourself such calendars of the Dalai Lama or whoever you prefer, and read a daily word of wisdom in order to get an idea of how to focus your upcoming day, like giving you a general structure for whatever will happen to you during the day. You will face it with wisdom, with knowledge, with being mellow and understanding, and trying to find out how to go on. Because, as I said in the last topic, there's always a way, and there is always a way. So, what else to do? We almost got half an hour, not yet. So we'll see. Sorry I cannot read currently what's there in the chat. Let me check, maybe I can do that here. Let me check. Whoever would like to look the scientist up. His name is Rupert Sheldrake. Hey, thank you. Thank you, you did that, man. That's great stuff, right? That is his name. And thank you so much that you put it that way. Well, I see that was quite some information as far as I can see it, but it has been with little magic, it has been with little teachings on what to do, but as I nevertheless suggest you, is to start with getting relaxed on the bed or on the sofa and try to watch what's going on your mind. And try to just watch the ideas you have. Try not to steer them. Try to watch it. Try to just, let them arise and come into you and go out of you and whatever. Let them just appear. Let them be in you. And then, when you do that for a certain while, whenever you find time, whenever you can do it day by day, would be good. If you do it 3 times a week, it's good too. So, however you can do that, and however you want to do that, after a certain while, you will get used to the idea of watching thoughts, which will open up another channel in your way of thinking, which automatically will drive you to the fact to understand that everything is of your personal origin. This is an idea you must accept. It's like, the programs you watch on the TV are not stored on the TV. They are being received online. I'm sorry, I got some problems in my throat. I must end this. I go to transmission and sorry. I go to transmission and I'm sorry. And see if I can write something. I love you. Goodbye.